last minute last night on another radio show with a global warming skeptic saying she didn't want to get into it. So Al Gore's organization yet again has denied debating. Al Gore has never debated. As you know, Lord Monckton has challenged him.
Come on, Al, baby. Well, but I mean, that's my point here is that I have 3 children. I've studied political systems. I'm a history buff. And for anybody out there watching, you know, this Al Gore crap that we're oil company funded, I get zero money from oil companies. Most big oil companies are supporting it because they want to shut down coal. I don't get any money from coal either. I'm not saying this stuff's perfect. There could be new energies. The point is, this is authoritarianism, Mark. We think of authoritarianism as Hitler or Stalin or Mao, old images 50, 60 years ago. Every new generation has a new authoritarianism. And this cult of control freaks, I read their writings. They hate humanity. They're anti-human. And they're such degenerate liars. And I'm so glad Climate Depot is there. And thank God you're there eloquently fighting them. But you're right. We've got to stay on them and rout them out. And that's the final caveat here. This interview is going over, but it's so important. We appreciate your time. What about this call? Because it's now happening against me, where they're saying, go after them, get them. They're like racist, as Al Gore said in the 60s, and arrest Moreno, Jones, Monckton, Ron Paul. I mean, these people are such authoritarians, they call it green fascism and say authoritarianism is good. I mean, can't people see a Hitler when they declare themselves?
Well, this is, we have Grist magazine, a big environmental magazine, actually called for Nuremberg-style trials for global warming skeptics, comparing us to Nazi war criminals. Al Gore has said we're flat earthers, we're people who believe the moon landing was fake, despite the fact that astronauts who walked on the moon are major global warming skeptics. And the head of the UN has said that, again, the Flat Earth Society, the smears, the intimidation, the threats have only worked against them. It has flushed out all these scientists who would otherwise have remained silent to finally speak out. That's why you're getting Nobel Prize-winning physicists resigning from science boards, protesting loudly about the cons.
Why do they miscalculate? I've got to ask this. Why do they miscalculate? Because I agree with you. Historically, when you crush people and intimidate people, they fight back. Why do these global warmist, control freaks, scum, authoritarians, and again, worse than that, words can't describe them, why do they think by intimidating and firing real scientists and attacking us and saying arrest us, why did they think it would make us shut up? I agree with you. This is why people are fighting them, because they see the authoritarian nature. A lot of people that bought into global warming, as you mentioned, Nobel Prize winners, go, well, since they're being authoritarian, let me look at it. They look at it and find out it's pure bull.
Here's the simple reason. They think it's 1985. They think it's 1975. They have not adjusted to the new reality of talk radio, cable news, the internet. And what they did, what Al Gore and the United Nations and the media tried to do in 2007 and 8 may have worked in 1977 or 1985, but it wasn't going to work in 2007 and 2008. The world exploded around them. We've made evening newscasts irrelevant. We've made CNN irrelevant. We've made Al Gore and his book and film and an Oscar and Nobel Prizes irrelevant. A majority of the human race isn't afraid of global warming, according to the latest Gallup survey of 111 countries. They have failed spectacularly. They're going on an old paradigm. They're going on a paradigm that would have worked decades ago when they could have crushed dissent and they controlled. We only had 3 television stations and some major newspapers, but it doesn't work now.
That's right. They're using old Cold War Soviet model crap, and we know that's where this all came from. It's like some weird vestigial leftover from that communist system, and it's failed. Mark Moreno, I have heard nothing but pure veritas here. I think this is one of the best interviews I've ever done, and I've been honored to have you. ClimateDepot.com. When we defeat these anti-liberty traitors, you deserve a prize for this, and not a fake Nobel Prize, but a Congressional Medal of Honor against their tyranny. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Alex. Enjoyed it.
Amazing. Listen, these people want to shut off our industrial base, shut off our power systems, because they've all invested in China. They are enemies of every man, woman, and child. We're going to break, and we're coming back to talk to Wayne Madsen, who went to Indonesia, who is going to be giving us a report on the birth certificate issue. I was never a birther. But the fact is, they're trying to shut down anybody that tries to investigate this. They're scared of it. It's turned out his Social Security numbers are fake. We're going to be covering that after this break. Stay with us.
The American dream. There's a reason they call it a dream.
Who's there?
Cock-a-doodle-doo, pal.
No, 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 no! I don't have any more money! My job sucks right now, please! I'll have more money next month! You can't take my house!
Is that your signature?
It is a private bank owned by private stockholders.
A private bank?
Do not let the name Federal fool you.
If I got this money from the bank, and the bank got it from the Federal Reserve dump trucks, where does the Federal Reserve get their money?
They take our property away, just like Thomas Jefferson said they would.
Those sons of bitches!
It's the greatest theft in human history.
Wow, that was one of the most powerful interviews I've ever done. That is Veritas with Mark Moreno. Now, coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking to Wayne Madsen with some breaking news. But first, look, I've not been a birther. Going back 4 years ago when Obama started campaigning, people said, hey, this guy ain't an American. I'm like, listen, he's a gun grabber. I'm against him. I don't want to get into where he's from. But over the years, sealing the high school records, the college records, the freaking out, the demonization, the earlier, 3 years ago, fake birth certificate they put out, and then the latest one. Something is going on here. And then a federal judge ruled just a few weeks ago, it doesn't matter if he has a fake Social Security number. He can go forward. And then today, WorldNet Daily and others reported that they did the online check, the E-Verify that we've even done with employees here, and it said, listen, this Social Security number is questionable, fraud is involved. This guy can't even pass a basic business background check. He never lived in Connecticut. We know that's a fake Social Security number assigned to him. Why would the system want to put an illegal alien, like his uncle who's about to get deported, in power? Why would they want to do this? Because they can blackmail him. They've got him by the short hairs. That's what's going on here. It's very, very simple. Obama is a teleprompter reading puppet. I could care less. He's a distraction. But at the end of the day, he's a 21st century latest model of a puppet who is totally and completely compromised. All right, you can full screen that so then I can come back to it. Massive new radioactivity possible if melted core hits the water. That's what Infowars.com has been reporting on, as well as Washington's blog. It's all over the Japanese news. It's been making Chernobyl look like child's play in the last 6 months, but now as water begins to pour in, it threatens a giant new explosion that'll rain radiation down on the U.S. But that doesn't matter because the EPA has already raised the level of radiation, saying any level is safe. With more on the plunging fortunes of the corporate frontman Barack Obama, we're joined by Wayne Madsen, who's a Navy anti-submarine warfare expert, worked for the National Security Agency, RCA. He has reported from Capitol Hill for decades on national security issues and broken some of the biggest stories concerning illegal spying on the American people and other national security issues. Well, he's somebody who is more progressive, and it was certainly not attacking Barack Obama because he was some Republican with an axe to grind. But he has been to Chicago. He has been to Jakarta, Indonesia. He has been all over the world tracking the real identity and providence of Barack Hussein Obama, a.k.a. Barry Soetoro, or back to a.k.a. Barack Obama. And we've now seen the reports that WorldNet Daily and others have run. E-Verify flags Obama's Social Security number out of Connecticut. as probably fraudulent. It's been admitted that he did not live in Connecticut and should not have been issued one. We know his mother worked for the CIA. And Wayne Madsen has broken a lot of the research that others later pick up and sometimes misrepresent. So he joins us to talk about the incredible developments when he was in Indonesia, where they tried to block him every step of the way. Same thing happened with Jerome Corsi in Kenya. And then, of course, the Kenyan government has now released their national security letter when George W. Bush was sending letters trying to find out about the providence of Barack Obama. And they wrote back to the White House and said, look, whoever he is, it's been erased out of the records here. It's been destroyed, so there is a cover-up. So cover-up, just like with Nixon and the plumbers and Watergate, is the evidence of the crime 99% of the time. Truly a Manchurian candidate. Joining us from D.C., where he's back visiting, is Wayne Madsen, traveling the world. Wayne, let's start out with Obama and what you've discovered.
Well, I spent almost a month in Jakarta, Indonesia. This is, of course, where Obama lived after his mother took him there in 1967. He was 6 years old. The minute I arrived in Jakarta, it was quite clear that I was being followed around. I had, for example, I had an interview scheduled with Obama's school teacher. She's quite old now. But that interview was canceled at, the very last minute. It was quite clear that the embassy was sending people around to dissuade people from talking to me. Now, I did manage to talk to quite a few people, even with that kind of pressure. But the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta is in total cover-up mode on behalf of Obama. We also know that he... on his mother's passport application to have her passport renewed, she listed Obama's name as Barack Obama, and then there was this name Sobarka that had then been sort of crossed out. It's very apparent that in Indonesia people use one name, Suharto, Sukarno, and it looks like Sobarka was more than likely the Indonesian name given to Barack Obama. So the mere fact that it came to me from government sources in Indonesia, Indonesian government sources, that Mr. Obama never did get his U.S. citizenship back after his legal guardian, Lolo Sitoro, renounced it so he could attend two schools there. And the law at the time, and I have a copy of the law in Indonesian, which I'm trying to get certifiably translated to English, specifically states, it's a 1958 law, you must be an Indonesian citizen to attend both the Menteng Elementary School, where he that's the last school he went to, and before that, the St. Franciscus Academy, a Catholic school. In both cases, only Indonesian citizens could attend those schools. So he was he had to be legally an Indonesian citizen. Indonesia does not recognize dual citizenship. So
and Wayne, this is bombshell, and I want you to elaborate on it for those that don't know, because if you give up your U.S. citizenship to become an Indonesian citizen, you can't later then become a U.S. president. So I want you to comment on that.